there we are. Okay, Alireza versus Anish. Promises to be a very interesting game. An ambitious Alireza. He wants to use the white pieces to bounce back from that incredibly painful loss to Alexander Danchenko. But you can't do it in 15 moves against Anish Giri. You need to be methodical. David, we know how good Anish is at punishing unsound play in the opening. And let's see, a Rogozin position many times this tournament. No, Queen's Gambit declined.
Mm-hmm. Queen's Gambit declined. Anish deployed a very similar setup, also with the bishop on e7 against Ding Liren yesterday.
Speaking of,
Speaking
of the devil.
Speaking of Ding Liren, h3, Danya. This is not a mouse slip. He didn't mean to play g3. This occurred in a infamous World Championship game.
I mean, maybe he meant to play h4.
You never know nowadays, right? Like, we say it in jest, but everything is fine. Everything is playable. Everything works. And a bit surprising to see Firouzja do this. I must say, I very rarely see him on the white side of the Queen's Gambit declined, let alone freestyling with frankly bizarre moves like this one. What's the purpose? I still don't understand, even 1 year later almost.
So this is the exact position where, just to bring everybody up to speed, Ding Liren played h3 against Jan Nepomniachtchi in their World Championship match. I was commentating that game. That's basically all I remember. And like you, David, I'm just as confused now as I was then. That game provided very little insight into the appeal of the move h3. I vaguely remember back then being very confident that White's idea is to prepare g4. Now, with the hindsight of, I was going to say many years, but more like 1 year, that just seems absurd to me. h3 is more of a waiting move to kind of force black to put their cards on the table. But I mean, I'm also kind of at a loss. Like, what exactly happens if black castles kingside? What cataclysm befalls the black pieces? What terrible fate?
I mean, I think black should castle kingside. I don't think anything terrible can happen to black. You've done nothing wrong after all. But yeah, I guess the idea is to hint at playing g4. I did just briefly check. Ding played h3 even one move earlier. So with black's bishop on f8, which is probably even worse. So Firouzja's fine-tuning this. He's really studied all the details. He's realized the black bishop on e7 is misplaced. But surely he's not going to push the g-pawn forward if black castles. I mean, you can't punish your opponent if they've committed no crime. So, yeah, waiting move, I don't really understand. I guess a bishop on f4 will have a retreat square on h2 if it needs later, but that's so rarely kind of number one priority. And I wouldn't be surprised if Anish goes into the tank for 10-15 minutes, but he shouldn't panic. There's nothing to panic about. Sure,
yes, h3, 1-0. That's it. No, the further resistance is futile. So Anish just about to throw in the towel here. I think after h3. Of course, castles kingside is not the only move. Black
like the way to go. In the meantime, as expected, a draw between Alireza Firouzja and Anish Giri. A long grind in the end, but ultimately Giri's defense is too strong, too sturdy. And slight disappointment, perhaps, for Firouzja, who was doing most of the legwork. And Giri, he's on a run of draws right now, but still in and around the leading pack. Yeah, not too much excitement in this one. No fireworks, at least, Danya, but a very high accuracy game.
This actually was one of the most boring games of all time.